Welcome to the Midnight Gaming Podcast. I am your guest host, Internet Personality Ginzaki. These are other guest hosts, Bulbazak and Eddie Fenix is here. We're not sure what he is. I think he's a puppy. Just put him on the
Wee!
bench.
Woof woof.
Eddie, no peeing on the carpet, please.
I'll pee on the carpet if I want to. You ain't got the badge to train me.
I just had it cleaned. Thank you very much.
Hey, you ain't got the badge to train me. I can pee on the carpet or I can pee on these plants while I'm at it.
Or you could just fall asleep.
Don't make me break out my super scope.
Hey, you guys woke me up from a nap calling me. I'm like, oh darn, I was just gonna sleep too.
Anyway,
right,
I bowed to our main host overlord, Koi. I forgot his name already.
His name is Koizumi. If you can't hear the sound of fapping, he's probably muted himself.
Don't kill me, oh great host overlord.
Oh, good grief, here we go.
Anyway, this week you'll be glad to know that we are not talking about Diablo 3.
That's next week.
More than likely.
They'll do something stupid again, but now they haven't done anything stupid. So we'll start off. Gabe Newell, one of the most lovable guys in gaming because he's always forgiving gamers what they want, says that Windows 8 is a catastrophe for everyone in the PC space and is working to make Steam games accessible to Linux. Yay. Big win for the PC gamers.
So he's trying to make it to where it's accessible to Mac users?
A lot of games are already accessible to Mac users.
Just trying to make it more.
Yeah, because the idea is that Windows 8 is going to be almost unusable for PC gamers, which is, as I've said in the past, what Microsoft wants. Microsoft doesn't want people gaming on the PC anymore. They want people to buy their consoles. So they're making their new system very difficult to use.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit tight on my Windows 7. Thank you very much, because I don't think my system could even handle Windows 8. I'm good with that.
Yeah, same.
But that's just stupid. I understand.
Well, that's the rule of the day when it comes to Microsoft. So don't worry.
I know that at this point, but it's just one of those things to where it's like, if you're gonna have a system that actually hosts PC gaming and has hosted PC gaming for years now, might I say,
Decades
even. Don't go fucking up your own formula. Seriously.
The way I look at it, it won't be a huge loss for them if PC gamers most likely will not migrate to Mac, and they know this. They're not going to push any of their hard-earned fans off on the Mac, off on Apple, but they will push them off into Linux space. Because Linux is a free operating system to use, and with, like I said, with Steam making gaming available to Linux, the world is good for everyone, I guess, because I think Microsoft's big thing with Windows 8 is they're just betting on the people who only use their computers for Facebook at this point. Push as many gamers from PC into Xbox as possible and just keep the masses stupid on Windows 8.
I mean, seriously, if that's all you're using your computer for, then you don't even need Windows 8. You don't even need Windows 7. I mean, at that point, the horrible, crappy Vista is good for you.
Internet Explorer might as well be your operating system.
Because you know what, if you're running nothing else, then it doesn't matter what operating system you're running on, because you know what, you're not running much on your computer, which means your computer's going to be kind of quick.
Good point.
I'd rather run emulators, thank you very much.
In fact, go back to Windows XP, because Windows 7 is a RAM sink. Anyway, Prototype 2 has seen a PC release, but it's horrendously broken. The idea is that it plays fine up to 24 frames per second, but if you know the glorious PC gaming master race, 24 frames per second, which is the console norm, is unplayable for these people. They have to have it at least 60 frames per second. Well, when you put the game at 60 frames per second, there's mouse acceleration that just you try and move the character and you send him spinning all the way around for about 10 minutes.
Oh god, we can't have it at 24 frames per second. We gotta have it at 60 or
I
more.
actually don't mind their bitching about this so much because they are spoiled on it. Because just about any PC game you can find runs at 60 frames per second, and you can tell the difference between 60 and 24. So
I'm sorry, when you're talking about him just spinning horribly for at least I don't know how long, all of a sudden I get the Benny Hill theme in my head. That was
That's not the first thing that comes to my mind. It's you spin me right round, baby, right round like a record, baby. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
yeah, the game's not completely unplayable. You can play it with a control pad, but most people who buy a game on PC want to use mouse and keyboard, so they get the short end of the stick. And the Prototype 2 team pretty much says they're not looking to fixing it.
To be
no,
perfectly
seriously. Can somebody take that ridiculous spinning and make a YouTube video dubbing with some sort of funny music? Come on, I'd watch that.
Hey, if I get a copy of the game or find some footage, I'll do it.
I will favorite it.
In fact, another fun thing to do, I've been thinking about making a series of videos to this, and it's the idea of taking footage, putting it in slow-mo, and then, putting it in slow-mo, black and white, and playing the theme Mad World over the audio. Because that just seems like no end of fun. Take the cheeriest thing you can think of, put it
Mario.
put it in slow motion, put it in black and white, put Mad World there. It'll look like a funeral, like a flashback at a funeral.
Oh man, you mentioned that. I'd probably watch it and probably tear up because anytime now that I hear like the Mad World instrumental just about on anything, I start to tear up anymore. Freaking thanks, Gears of War. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you, Cliff and all them, you bastards.
Yeah, I got the instrumental to Mad World on accident once playing against bots. I'll admit I was playing against bots just to grind up my kill-death ratio to outdo a friend because he was being an asshole. And I beat a match, and then the next match came, and all I hear is just the instrumental to Mad World, and I end up getting owned by bots because I'm crying.
Oh,
It was horrible.
I'm sorry. We just have to take this video idea one step further. You know, not only just a cheery game, but not only take a cheery game or whatever game you want to take, not only slow-mo it in black and white, take the most out-of-context scenes, you know, just to make it seem like it's a horrible, sad moment. You know, like if you're doing Mario,
it's those scenes that are the most potent with that song because, like I said, it looks like some kind of awesome flashback that someone's having at a funeral.
Yeah, and just I mean, I'm talking about just find scenes that are just out of context that just work perfectly and make it hilarious.
Yeah. Let's see. Zynga, the Facebook social game giant, has its stocks down because they are discovering that social gaming isn't very sustainable in the long run. They are suffering from $23 million losses in the second quarter. And I think the big problem with them is smartphone gaming has taken over where Facebook gaming used to stand.
Yeah, and you also have what occasionally happens sometimes. I mean, normally what they're banking on is people will get hooked and stay hooked. But what generally tends to happen is after an indeterminate period of time ranging from a few months to a few years, the people all of a sudden start going, what am I doing? And I have been wasting precious moments of my life doing this crap, and they'll
that
just
happened
stop.
to me with Zombie Farm.
Yeah, it happens to it ranges from Facebook games to those casual games to even MMORPGs.
It
So, I
happens
mean,
less in MMOs though, because in MMOs you're paying for the opportunity, so your mind tends to build like a mental block saying, "No, this
Oh
is
my
your
god.
life. This is good."
Oh
but
my god.
it does tend to happen.
Wait.
It happened with me with RuneScape, which actually that was more due to time, due to the fact I was running. I did not have as much time to play, so I didn't want to waste the money. But still,
Yeah,
it's just at a certain point, it's going to happen. People are just going to, for one reason or another, just say, "Why am I wasting my money on this?"
At one point in time, yes, but like at the time when it's really hot and it's really popular and you're making a ton of money on it, you're not gonna be thinking, "Oh God, why am I wasting my time on this?" You're gonna be thinking, "Oh my God, I must refine this ore, must plant this plant, must get this, must get that," or just something along those lines. It's gonna
which is
keep you
where it
sucked
falls
in.
to Zynga to figure out when is the point to cut off and cash out early.
Exactly.
Second thing that happens is if they don't if the people don't stop, is there are whole groups of people. I mean, I guess what Zynga's banking on is those people who basically pay real money for stuff. But there are a large group of people who don't. They just play for free.
Yeah, but they normally have advertisements
That's true.
on their stuff.
Hmm.
They never got a cent out of me because I have Ad Blocker Plus. But yeah, I played Zombie Farm, and I played Zombie Farm for about a month straight during free time on my iPod. And it was after the 30 days, I look at the grand zombie farm I've created and how awesome it looks. And the first thing that came into my mind was that little guy who's ready to ruin my fun, going, "What the hell have you done? I leave you alone for 5 minutes and you do this? You could have played another game. You could have played a bunch of games. But no, you've been playing Zombie Farm." I think it's
You
just
even
that little bit of that sadistic bit of me that revels in ruining other people's fun just finally turned on myself and said, "It's enough."
It's one of those things where it's like your inner retard going, play the game, it's so much fun. That inner cynical part of you it's like as soon as the inner retard keeps quiet for just long enough for him to be able to insert his voice, he kind of sort of insert his voice, and the inner retard goes, "Oh, gotta find something new to freaking get you on. Oh, go play that."
See someone else as a Christopher Titus fan.
Yes, love Christopher Titus.
Minecraft is in the new update getting a new block for server administrators that would its placement in the world would allow certain actions performed by players to affect the game, like raise or lower the difficulty, give out experience, the kind of stuff that you normally can't do in game unless you break something.
So they're trying to turn this into a bit of an RPG now.
It's been they've been working it that way a bit. The experience is used less for leveling up. It's more of late game. You get the ability to enchant items, and you use your experience to enchant.
Can I make a suggestion for when they since they continue to tweak this game?
Go for it.
Can they put the enchantment instruction stuff in English so I can know what I'm enchanting?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Because I don't see the draw, and I don't know what this does, but it costs a lot of experience, so it must be good. I kind of want to know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's I'm guessing you're playing on the Xbox.
No, I've seen somebody play, and I'm planning on playing, but seriously, this is a major concern for me when I start playing.
Yeah, my biggest thing is the Xbox. I know is having more of the it's having more instructions, but the PC players normally just go to the wiki to find this stuff. And that's what I essentially say is you can either experiment to find it out yourself, like a lot of people like to do. I like to do it, but it's normally when I'm not losing a lot of experience to enchant something randomly. And other times there's the wiki.
Yeah, I mean, it really wouldn't take up that much room to, you don't have to explain in full detail, but it could just be like strength enchantment. Just a few words so I know what kind of enchantment I'm getting.
Yeah.
Getting a magic enchantment or just something along those lines. I mean, here's the thing that kind of sort of gets me. If you're taking it in this direction, are you kind of taking away from the original lore of what Minecraft was all about? If you take it in this experience-driven direction?
Well, the experience has always been there. You just use it kind of like as currency, so that means that experience number goes up and down. It has no bearing on gameplay.
Yeah.
Other than making the enchantments.
Okay, I just figured it might take, they might just make it to where, I don't know.
A source version of the indie horror game Slender is currently being developed. Kind of looking forward to that because I played Slender myself, and the game is definitely a horror game. It's got all of the aspects it needs to be horror. So good on them.
Sorry, but when you say Slender, I think of Slender Man.
That is what it is. It's the Slender Man.
That's
Okay.
what I could infer that from that, and I can imagine that being genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, because currently a theory about the game is that if you never look behind yourself, just keep going relatively straight, that he'll never get you. But it's a horror game.
Mm-hmm.
Looking to check is the big thing, and yeah, it is the Slender Man. It's tall, slender person with no face and tentacles growing out of their back. That's inherently horrifying.
Hey, Ginzaki, can I be in the podcast?
I'm just going to say this. It's one of the reason it makes a good horror game is, I mean, even when you try to find out where the whole legend emanates, it just terrifies you.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, how do you discern fact from fiction?
Yeah.
You don't. You just don't.
You don't even try. Just make sure you don't think about it.
Just get lost in the moment.
Yes.
Apple has applied for patents for controller technology for the iPod and the iPod Touch and the iPhone. So it looks like they're attempting to up their game as a gaming medium.
No. Well, not no, but at the same time, it's just like, why? Well, it's one of those things where I'm asking why, going no, and just thinking, there's three voices in my head just yelling at each other, and they can't freaking shut up long enough for one to get the other one talking.
The crash is coming, people. The crash is coming.
Oh, good grief. What are you, Paul Revere now?
One if by land, two if by sea.
Well, we need to make a digital reference to that. Somebody think of one.
Yeah, Final Fantasy XIV is getting a large expansion, which from this Midnight Gamer elicits this response. People are still playing that game. It's a piece of shit, people. The expansion's going to be a piece of shit. It's all a piece of shit. Big, flaming piece of shit.
When will the fantasy finally be final?
When someone finally just drives the final nail in the daggone coffin at this point.
Probably the 69th time, just so we can make little sex jokes.
Might as well. But at this point, if you're going to come up with Final Fantasy 15, actually, yeah, if you're going to come up with Final Fantasy 15, take it back to its frickin' roots. But speaking of Final Fantasy, just to update from last week when we talked about it, the Final Fantasy Versus 13 being dead. Apparently they came out this week and said it's not dead. You just haven't seen anything new from it. It's been 6 fucking years, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, they debunked the rumor that they'd canceled it, so apparently it's still on. Though I'm still bearing that it's just possible that they don't want their stocks to tank any farther than they already have, so they don't want people to think it's died. I don't know.
Just like Kingdom Hearts 3 that hasn't came out yet. They keep harping on that. It's like, hey, when's that gonna come too?
Yeah, and as Bulb keeps mentioning, it's a lot of these trends are pointing towards potential crash because Nintendo is posting massive losses on the Wii, and they really want fall to get here so they can put their Wii U up your ass and
I mean, it makes sense that
games as possible.
I'm sorry. It actually makes sense that they are posting massive losses in the Wii because everybody surged and bought the Wii when it first came out. I mean, it was you still had for at least a year where you had trouble finding them.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yeah.
makes sense. At this point, everybody has one. Of course, there's going to be massive losses.
Mm-hmm. And these massive losses they're bigger than Zynga's 23 million. It's about 300 million losses in the second quarter on the Wii.
Nintendo, do yourself a favor. Stop producing the Wii that you already sold to people. Just do yourself a favor and just put it towards the Wii U.
Exactly.
And, give us some fucking news for Christ's sake. I mean, come on.
At a certain point, they should have thought, maybe we should stop producing this console because maybe everybody already has it. Maybe we should actually start, cutting down on producing the console, which would stop the losses and focus more on getting more games out.
Yeah, that's the problem the original
Pac-Man
had. By that I mean the original console release of Pac-Man is they expected it to be so big. They invested so much money into making this game that they produced way more millions more cartridges than they ever sold.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Microsoft is projecting a gain as far as Xbox sales, because of course people were not buying Xbox 360s as much as they were the Wii, which means you're now getting that. Basically, the growth with Xbox 360 was more gradual than with Wii.
Yeah.
So I mean, it all makes perfect sense. They're positing this as a big deal when you look at the trends. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with as far as who's winning or who's losing in the console space. It just has to do with this is what you get when everybody already has the Wii and more people are starting to want to get 360s before the end of the console cycle.
Yeah, and this isn't the freaking PlayStation 2 either. So it's kind of a dead console. It's been out for 6 years. Let's move on already.
Yeah, Playdead Studios, the makers of Limbo, are working on their new game, but they've said that they're going to give it at least 2 more years of development because to them time isn't or money isn't an object when it comes to the game. They want it to be as good as possible, so they're going to put as much time as possible into it to make it, well, as good as possible.
I respect developers who do that, who actually look at making quality games and putting out quality games instead of what the current atmosphere is right now. Let's put out a half-baked game, and then when people start complaining, we'll just put out updates and patches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's part of the Playdead is of course an indie developer, and that's part of the problem when you get into big mainstream development is they're the shareholders of your company are looking to make as much money as possible. They don't want to post losses.
Yeah, and that's the one thing where I'm going to agree with a lot of game experts. For example, Game Informer, a lot of other people who are suggesting that what we're seeing now with where you're seeing a bunch of companies really failing is because they have never learned to make a budget and stay in budget.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. I think the crash will probably, there might be some crash that has to do with gamers getting wise, but I think it's also going to be caused because these gaming producers and developers have not learned to actually work within the budget and the money that they have and make the best game within that frame.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I think indie games are going to be the crash will probably be a mainstream crash. The mainstream companies that can't hold themselves afloat. This is, of course, Call of Duty and Halo will pretty much always sell, so their companies are exempt from this, but the other companies are going to get hit hard, and it's going to be the total huge mainstream companies, that the makers of Call of Duty, the makers of Halo, and then the makers of the indie games that are going to keep the industry floating. So it's going to be a crash down, but it's not going to kill the industry in any respect.
Yeah.
So basically,
and maybe people actually. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. Well, basically, what you're trying to say, Jen, is we're probably going to see more Call of Duty and more Halo crap like that.
Yeah, I think because they're popular.
Oh, son of a! Guys, I'm just gonna say this right now. If anyone who's out there, whoever listens, pass this along to your friends for one thing. For one, stop buying the piece of shit known as Call of Duty games. These games are total and complete shit, and they're not doing anything good for the business.
I'm gonna give the next game a chance because it's looking nice, and it's probably going to be the only Call of Duty I ever own, just because I want to give it a chance to see if changing the formula can actually do anything for it. But
I'm just hoping. Sorry.
Go ahead, Bubba. I'll give you the thing, and then I'll just go on a long tangent real quick.
Okay. What I was going to say is, whenever this happens, I'm just hoping that the developers learn that you cannot just throw more money than you have at a project and hope to make it good. Work within what you have. They don't all have to be big AAA titles. Just make good quality games. And maybe they'll finally learn this after, everything starts crashing down on them.
Okay, my turn?
Yes, go.
My thing is, when it comes to these big name games such as Call of Duty and Halo and whatnot, Halo will sell because Halo is at least consistent and it's at least good. I give it that. Call of Duty, on the other hand, just...
by no means excellent either. Note that.
Yeah. And then you have games that, are kind of like dark horses or just, things you don't really hear about unless you play the game from borrowing it from another friend.
Like the
for
Pokemon
me,
franchise.
Pokemon will probably sell anyway, but anyway.
I'm kidding.
When it comes right down to it, if you take a look at something like Darksiders, Darksiders is one of those kind of games that, at the time, I never heard about it. I really didn't pay attention to it. I had a friend of mine give it to me to borrow, and I've still got it, and I'm still playing it, and I'm addicted to playing it right now. It's a really good game, and it's not made by one of those big name franchise studios. Now you're taking a look at Darksiders 2, it's going to be a lot longer and a lot larger and everything else. It's starting to become a hit. Kind of like, if you take a look at the Left 4 Dead series as well. Games like that become quote-unquote cult hits, to where they kind of have a small underground following before having a big following. Those are the games that people really kind of aren't investing in at start until word of mouth gets out and around.
So you just described the video game equivalent of Kevin Smith's career.
Kinda, yeah. But it's one of those games where it's yes, you're going to have the big AAA titles, but if it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, to where there's barely any tweaks or management to it, that gets dull and it saturates the market. Activision, cough, cough, thanks for the freaking Guitar Hero and Rock Band killings. And Tony Hawk killings, I must say.
Isn't that what Activision is good for? Just take a franchise and then kill it?
Yes.
Take it, drive it into the ground.
But the thing is you're taking Call of Duty right now and people are stupid and they keep thinking, the next one's going to be so great, oh my god. And it's the same thing after 3 months. People start bitching. Why isn't this the same? It's this game, Call of Duty, was so much better than this one. Ugh.
We told you about the Ouya last week. The idea of a console for emulating and other things like that. And they're going to make the video game service OnLive available for it. And OnLive is an interesting service. I haven't talked about it on here before, but it is worth mentioning because it's essentially Steam, except you're not playing the game on your PC. You're playing it on OnLive's PC. What they have is they have a PC run the game. You're playing your control inputs are being sent to their PC. They're playing the game for you, and then they're streaming it back to you, which means you could be playing Skyrim at top graphics on your smartphone. And so the idea of this coming to the Ouya means that it can go above its own graphical limitations, which is great because also OnLive is not a paid-for service. You buy the game and you have it on their service. It's like Steam. Once you buy the game, you can continue to play it on their PC. The only thing you have to do is pay your internet bill.
My thing is how much is this Ouya going to be?
I believe it's $199.
And where is it going to be released at?
I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you on it. It's still in development.
Well, tentatively released if it doesn't get killed by legislation.
Yeah.
I can say this: if it doesn't get killed by the whole legislation thing, this thing can be the thing that, surprise, here's where the thing doesn't fall and we have a crash, because, hey, it's fun.
Yeah. OnLive, one of its big features, though, is the ability to, it can obviously stream to any device that is capable of streaming. I mentioned smartphone. I'm serious about smartphone. To play on the smartphone, what you'd have to do, though, is they have a controller you can get. It's a $99 controller. It looks almost exactly like a 360 controller, or more precisely, it looks like the controller for the Wii U, without the one that doesn't have the touchscreen on it. And it's got everything you need plus a few buttons for Bluetooth connection to your device. And boom, you've got a gamepad for, like I said, playing Skyrim at max graphics on your smartphone. So yeah, bring that up. That is definitely something you should look forward to, if because this is obviously for PC gamers who cannot afford a large rig, or for people who want to try something different. The developers of Fez, this is a very popular now indie game. I believe on 360. It might have a PC release. I don't know. The developers released a patch recently, and apparently it caused some game-breaking bugs for people. And I see a big movement here coming with the way these updates work, because Fez, the developers, are refusing to update the game to fix the broken aspects, because Microsoft is charging more money than they're willing to pay to patch it. And that's something I didn't know. I didn't know that the developers had to pay to get a patch out. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually see, because justly so, the consumers have gotten smart, and they're not mad at the Fez developers. They're mad at Microsoft because they can't play their game now without breaking it, and Microsoft is keeping that from them. So, power to the players, essentially. Go GameStop. Actually, I don't like GameStop, but they have a good catchphrase. So yeah, power to the players. Bethesda says that there is no timeline for a multi-platform release of Dawnguard. Why? Why are you trying to piss people off at this point? I understand that Microsoft paid you to keep the game, or to keep this DLC Xbox exclusive for a month. That's what they paid. The month is over. Where is the PC and the PS3 release of this? It doesn't make any sense, because you're not drawing in many new people into the 360 Skyrim experience, because people already bought Skyrim. This came like almost 8 months, I think, after the release of Skyrim. People already have the game. Give us the DLC already. It's $20. We're gonna pay for it. What the hell, Bethesda?
Probably because they haven't found a way to make $60 off of it for each one they sell. So...
Well, that's the thing. On the PC, like, for the console, you can go and buy a $20 used copy, then pick up a $20 copy of Dawnguard, and there you go. You've got $40 added. No, but you didn't actually gain 20 of it. GameStop gained 20 of it. Whereas on the PC, if you want a copy of Skyrim, you have to shell out $60. You're not, unless you got it on sale, you're paying full price.
Or, if you know a few people that I know, you got it for free.
Well, yeah, if you pirated it, but
I don't pirate.
Pirating DLC is more difficult than you would think. It will happen, obviously, but you're still going to get the people who buy it, and that's who you're going for. Because the people who pirate it are normally, they're not your customers. They want something for nothing, and that's what they're going to go for. They're not going to buy from you, so you don't have to worry about them. Keeping them out is not gaining you any favors.
Nope.
EA is squashing rumors of its CEO being replaced, which is kind of sad because their current CEO is an idiot.
The thing
Small
is, I
mention of
think.
that.
Go ahead, Jen.
No, I'm done with saying what I said.
But I think the reason why they're trying to probably quash that is probably because they don't need their stocks falling. I mean, this is the company that last year was voted the worst company.
Well, yeah, and that's why you get a new CEO, get someone with fresh ideas in, because like I said, their current CEO is an idiot. Replacing the CEO, they might see their stocks fall, but like I said, gamers are getting smart. If they see there's a new CEO running things, they might say, all right, let's give them another chance.
Yep.
Get someone in there like Peter Moore. I know he's a really good CEO, or just get someone who's not John Riccatello, so to speak.
Yeah. New job listings on their website hint that the next Call of Duty game after Black Ops 2 may be a next-gen release.
Wouldn't surprise me. The new consoles are coming out next year, and it's like, hey, the next Call of Duty game that comes out next year, next gen. Oh my God, two people. Sorry, I'm just my cynical smartass is coming out of me, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I just think it's a bit of a big thing because I could see them trying to pinch a few more pennies out of the people who aren't going to early adopt the new consoles.
The thing is, they're probably going to do that. They're going to make it to where it's for the old consoles. That way, they can have the people who aren't able to adopt the new consoles just yet, and then the new consoles, so that way the new consoles have something to put out the door.
Mm-hmm.
So
I could also see them having like doing a dual generation release, like saying put it on the 360 and the 720. Except the 360 users don't get access to certain things, like maybe they only get half the maps or something like that.
Again, I wish the 720 is actually not the name.
Yeah, so do I, but that's just the working name we got to use.
Yeah, and that'll just piss a lot of gamers off if you do that. But at the same time, it's like, early upgrade.
Yeah, they want to push you towards the next console. I can understand that.
Yeah.
For our last little bit of news, Resident Evil 6, apparently Eddie found that this is for the Capcom store, but they're saying that if you pre-order a copy of Resident Evil 6, you get an Umbrella Corporation umbrella. Or as I like to say it, you get an umbrella. You get a U squared.
Umbrellaception.
Oh, good night.
That kind of fits because that's all Christopher Nolan right there.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Anyway, Bubba, you had some kind of thing you wanted to do?
Yeah. For those of you listening who have not checked out my YouTube channel, check it out. Right now, I have started a Let's Play of Final Fantasy Adventure. Please watch me. Please subscribe. I'd be very happy.
You start saying that at the end of your videos.
Sellout fuck.